thank you to everyone for being here. This is probably the most energized crowd I've seen, certainly in the 12 years I've been doing this, and well before. It's so refreshing. It really is. I can't thank you all enough, and I hope this energy just continues to steamroll as we go further and further into the election. We are going to do amazing things this year. It was Ronald Reagan who said, it's not that our liberal friends are ignorant, it's just that they know so much that isn't so. And that's a quote that always stuck with me because it was very, very poignant. But it's never been more appropriate than now. I don't recognize the people on the other side of the aisle. They're not my mother's Kennedy Democrats. They're not the Clinton Democrats I grew up with. I don't recognize them. They have been subverted and taken over by what can only be described as a group of socialist-minded Democrats who have destroyed what that party once stood for. We, however, as Republicans have not changed. At least I don't think we have. We believe in the core values. We went through the budget process this year in the House of Representatives and the Senate, and we passed the largest budget in the state's history. We're spending money like sailors at port because we believe it's free. A $13.6 billion budget in the state of Rhode Island is not sustainable. It was built up with federal money. Our friends often confuse federal money and their own money, which are the same. We recognize that, but clearly they think it's manna from heaven or something. I don't know. We built into this budget so many items that don't sustain a healthy Rhode Island. It was a terrible process. We expanded our deficit. We failed to put the money where it needs to be. Our surplus is depleting. Everything is going wrong, and our friends are still saying, we still hope the feds send more money. It's not the way to run the state. We have seen over the past 2 years in particular, an absolute evisceration of our businesses, our schools. Public education has fallen apart under the past COVID crisis and the leadership or lack of leadership. We continue to sink money and build programs, but we're not getting anywhere. We know our schools are failing across the state, but we don't do anything about it. We talk about it, but we don't act. The time is well past due to act, and we need to. The Republicans, I'm proud to say, in the House of Representatives, we've kept our eye on the prize. And if I can go back to Reagan again, if you can't make them see the light, make them feel the heat. And we do a good job of making them feel the heat. We have always been the loyal opposition, but I've noticed that we have transformed also into the moral conscience of the chamber. They've lost their way. It's not helping our families, it's not helping our business people. We actually had a slush fund built into the budget of COVID money that is set aside for COVID emergencies in 2024 and 2025, $190 million. Meanwhile, our towns that are begging us for help just to pull out of this nosedive from COVID are being ignored. Our schools, we know they need to be hardened. They need to be supported. They're not getting the support that they need. We have seen our friends on the other side of the aisle eviscerate great programs for their own purposes. We actually had a budget debate. Green energy was the theme, I think, this year. The Act on Climate from last year is driving everything that's happening. And one of the most peculiar moments probably in the 12 years I was there was when we started to talk about a program called LIHEAP, which is for low-income folks and who need to heat their house and they can't afford to buy the outrageously priced oil. And our friends took that money out of that program and they put it into a heat pump program because sometime down the road we're going to build affordable housing with renewable energy. But that doesn't help the people who need the help today. And our friends on the other side of the aisle said, well, they're just going to have to embrace the Act on Climate and move into the future. I said it on the floor and I'll say it again here. That is the modern equivalent of let them eat cake. They're completely out of touch with the people in Rhode Island need. We talk to them. We are them. We work every day. We run our household budgets. We make sure that we ration our limited resources, especially now under this hyperinflation, to do things in a responsible manner. But the government doesn't do that. Our friends on the other side, they've been subverted by a group of people that want to see government hold our hands from cradle to grave. We don't. We trust people. We want them to be prosperous. We want to get out of their way as the state and let them do what they do best. They don't need us. In fact, we need them. And the sooner the elected officials and policymakers in the state of Rhode Island recognize this and accept it, the better we'll be as a state. My Republican colleagues and I have had a whirlwind of a couple of days with new candidates who come out, and we're keeping track and watching all this stuff happen. The excitement is palpable. It's out there, and it's exciting us in turn, and that's good for everyone. The things that we believe in are pretty simple. We want to run our houses similar to our households. We want to plan and spend conservatively and accordingly. We honor, love, and support law enforcement and our military. We love and promote prosperity for all Rhode Islanders because prosperity is freedom. It is freedom in its purest sense. Opportunities should be everywhere in Rhode Island. People should be able to do whatever they want, and that's the goal and that's the dream that we have. We may be silly and romantic, but we still believe in this state's motto of hope. We have hope that Rhode Island, the smallest state, can also be the greatest state. Friends, help us get there, keep this energy alive, bring it into September, right through November, and stay with us all the way. We are going to change things in the state of Rhode Island. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here tonight, and I thank you on behalf of all the elected Republicans now and all the future elected Republicans. We couldn't do this without the support of the party. Thank you so much.